Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today let's drop some acid and let our mind's eye fly over space and time to the late 19th century as the unification of Italy, or Risorgimento, is underway, as Mihai, playing as the Sicilians in green, takes on Running, playing as the Romans in red. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate enclosed off surroundings and try to get their butts up to feudal and likely castle age ASAP, why don't we take an opportunity to take a look at the civs that we'll be watching today. Now, the Sicilians are a civilization whose strength derives and flows from their static defensive structures. Sicilians start the game. Take a look at the top left of your screen with 100 extra stone, which is fantastic because they build town centers twice as fast as normal, castles 50% faster than normal. Starting in Feudal Age, the Sicilians can build their unique structure, the donjon. Think of this as a mini castle that gains HP and armor as the game progresses, and starting in Castle Age does shoot multiple arrows even when ungarrisoned. Now, donjons, like their sister structure, the Bulgarian Krepos, can also be used to train the unique unit of the Sicilians. In this case, not a conic, but a sergeant, an overall medium infantry unit with great base armor, whose HP actually increases in Castle Age and is one of the only two unique units that can be trained in Feudal Age. By the way, those same sergeants, stubborn deer, those same sergeants can be used to build and repair those very donjons that spawned them in the first place. Now, unlike the Bulgarian Krepos, the donjon can also be used to train spearman line units and can also be used as the prerequisite building in order to build an archery range and a stable. So the Sicilians, not really necessary to go with barracks, although never discount having a barracks. A lot of pretty damn cool technologies you can research in there, but by far the coolest technology, the coolest feature of the Sicilians is their ability to call a first crusade, where each one of these town centers spawns 5 sergeants, up to a maximum of 5 town centers, so 25 extra sergeants. And to help protect these sergeants on the battlefield, Sicilian knights and cavaliers can be upgraded to get extra armor. All Sicilian infantry, cavalry, and archer units take 33% less bonus damage, and all of their units can be upgraded to become more resistant to conversion. Now, to feed the big, hungry Sicilian population, Sicilians do have the best farms in the game, bar none. When a farm upgrade is researched, it more than doubles the amount of food that's added to that farm. So in Imperial Age, a fully seeded, fully upgraded Sicilian farm comes with 1,019 food, which is just ridiculous. As Mihai begins moving out on the map, we'll discover where his opponent is in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Speaking of his opponent, Running, playing as the Romans, a mixed land-based naval civilization with a few cool unit features that make them potentially very, very deadly in the later stages of the game. To start with, Roman infantry units get double the effect of blacksmith armor upgrades, and they have access to the Legionary, a tanky, well-armored, unique infantry unit that does replace their two-handed swordsmen and champions, and comes with a decent attack bonus against other infantry units, although remember, the Sicilians do take a third less bonus damage on the whole. Now, to make their infantry even deadlier, the Romans can turn to their second unique unit, the Centurion. This is a heavy cavalry unit that increases both the movement speed and attack speed of any militia line units under its command. That to overwhelm their opponents on the field of battle, the Romans can upgrade, rather, oh goodness, I was lost in the wild boar pool, as sometimes does happen. I tunnel vision into what's happening onto the map. But anyway, to overwhelm their opponents on the battlefield, the Romans can actually upgrade their entire militia line, their entire knight line, and their centurions to train 50% faster, and also come with a +5 charge attack, similar to the Burgundian Custelier. Now, if that's not enough backup for you, the Romans do have access to one of the deadliest scorpions in the game. Not only do these siege units cost a lot less gold, think Schlachter privileges, but it comes automatically. You don't have to pay to get that discount. Their scorpions, they cost 30 gold. But that aside, their minimum range is also lowered from 2 to 1. They can be upgraded to fire faster, and they're the only scorpions in the game that benefit from ballistics. So if your unit's moving around, doesn't really matter. That ballista bolt's gonna pierce the back of this scout's head. Now, to help a player reach the later stage of the game, maintain the might of Rome, Roman villagers do gather resources and build and repair structures 5% faster than generic villagers. So these are the two Mediterranean civilizations we have in front of us. And by the way, one thing I noticed, which doesn't happen very frequently in Age of Empires with the random map spawns, I believe we have a cypress tree, which is very, very common in Italy. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these are olive trees. Yeah. So two pretty cool, pretty relevant and topical, what do we want to call them? Vegetations? What is a tree? Flora? Fauna? I forget my grade 11 science class. In any event, it's very apropos, and given the way the map looks, it looks like it's been a dry season on the Mediterranean as these two scouts maneuver their way here. Now, let's see if the players follow the standard 3-part meta of Arena. Ooh, they discover each other. Will they engage? It looks like Mihai is trying to run away with a scout, and it looks like Running has got tired of running around. No pun intended. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's like a like an elementary school dance. It looks like they attacked each other at the exact same time. Oh my goodness, look at the HP. They're going down at the exact same moment. Are we going to have a murder-suicide? What an absolute epic beginning of the game at the 10-minute mark here. Low stakes though it may be. Let's see who dies. Let's see if they both die. What the hell happened there? How did that happen? I guess Mihai's scout was a fraction of a second earlier in his attack against the other scout, but I thought they would both kill each other. Absolutely epic. Now, I was mentioning the 3-part meta of Arena right before that. Amazing, almost murder-suicide happened. Why do I mention it all the time? Because it's I think it's important when we're watching maps that are not Arabia. Arabia obviously being the most common of the maps. Whether or not you consider it boring, whether or not you consider it blah, doesn't really matter. It is still the map that the vast majority of games happen on. But Arena is also pretty damn popular, and I'm hoping we get to find out why, because of the 3-part meta at the end of the second part. And when part 3 begins, it's incredibly fun. Also because of cool things like this, where two random wall fragments, parts, just spawn in the middle of the forest. I guess this is these olive trees are kind of overgrowing the Sicilian settlement, like when you go to Italy and you see all these ancient Roman ruins, and on top of them there's things that have been growing for the last 2,000 years. But I'm going to stop distracting myself because both players are heading to Castle Age, and once that happens, I suspect we're going to see a sheep left to decay here. We're going to get to see a bit of monk play out of these players. But 3 stages of Arena. First stage, everyone rushes their butt up to Castle Age, and it looks like our Sicilian will reach Castle Age first with 1 less villager, and exactly, or I should say almost exactly 25 seconds ahead of his opponent, which is the training time for a villager. Looks like a second scout is already out for Running. A third scout as well, although I guess a first and a second, although the first one, remember, did die over here. Once the players reach Castle Age, let me stop interrupting myself. Then they plop down monasteries. They get some scouts out, although it looks like our Sicilian hasn't put down a donjon or a barracks, so I'm not too sure how he's going to plop down a stable or contest relics against his opponent's scouts. And then the monks come out. The relics are fought over. These shiny golden physics-defying objects. And once all the relics are gathered, then all of a sudden we enter into the funnest part of the game, stage 3, where the players build big, massive armies, hopefully in Imperial Age, hopefully fully upgraded, and then just bash each other's skulls in with 1s and 0s and fast-clicking keyboards and whatnot. Look at this. Both of them getting the exact same upgrades. Our Roman is in Castle Age. He's going monastery. Our Sicilian, however, I don't see any monastery here. He is going 2 extra town centers, still has 100 stone. We'll see what he does. 3-part meta, generally, again, I know some people call it boring. I don't mind it at all. Number 1, part 1 is very fun in terms of learning. And I know those 2 words, learning and fun, generally don't really go together. But if you want to learn how to go fast castle, as these 2 players did, watch an Arena game. And you'll see exactly how to go fast castle. That's the first part. Second part, where they fight over the relics, there's a lot of micro. And you guys know I love my Feudal Age micro, which in this case transfers into Castle Age micro. Although, right as I say that, there's literally no micro because Green Scout is where? Okay, he's hiding here to the south next to some olive trees, enjoying some delicious green olive pizza. Mediterranean style. As a few Roman villagers start chopping lumber over here. Does he have the wood? And what is he saving it up for? Another town center? Yes, he is. So he's going to go up to 3 town centers as well. So there's a lot of fun micro that happens in stage 2. And then stage 3, of course, who doesn't like to see massive armies bashing each other, or rather bashing into each other as the game progresses. I feel like this might be problematic for green. This one villager here. I mean, how many times have we seen when we play or when we watch games that one of these villagers just gets stuck behind the other? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's actually the perfect placement. Okay, we'll leave him to mine his gold. He is going up to 46 villagers. So our Sicilian going up 12 villagers, but he is leaving map control here to the Roman, who already has a relic, gets the second. I believe there's a third en route. Oh, one more whack. And this is both good and bad for Mihai. Number 1, killing a monk, never a bad thing. Number 2, getting scouting is never a bad thing, especially now when you see there's a town center next to the stone. But number 3, this is a one-way trip for this scout. I mean, we saw in yesterday's game, MBL scout / light cavalry / hussar in the back of Mr. Yo's base for about 1 billion years, getting very little scouting actually done. But we'll see what Mihai decides to do with the information that he's got right now. For now, his base is under siege by one very aggro scout cavalry unit. There's still 2 relics outside of the gates, one here, and there is still 1 relic here inside the gate. So he's leaving that relic. It's already secure, so he doesn't really need to get it. There's no real urgency in getting it. And of course, the second I look away, the scout died. What killed the scout? Does Red have a scout here as well? Yeah, it must be this guy. Okay, so it is this scout that killed the other scout. He took exactly 5 HP of damage. So now Mihai completely blind, but look at his vision. He saw 3 town centers. He saw a farming community here, so he can assume that there's a town center here as well. And now he's basically just keeping an eye on his opponent. So both players are booming. Stage 2 of the game is entering its final stages as these monks, I should say this monk, there's literally only 1 monk. Our Sicilian is just ignoring the relics. I don't know that that's necessarily the wisest thing to do. The Romans can be, and they can also not be, a very gold intensive civilization. Like I said, their scorpions are pretty damn cheap. But if you go Centurion, that is not a cheap unit. Centurion is 85 gold. It's, I think, the most expensive unique unit in terms of gold, together with the Mameluke, which you guys know I love talking about and need no excuse to start talking about. Guys got Mameluke on the brain. But where's this villager going? Look at this. So running. Unhappy that Mihai had a good amount of scouting of his base. Wants to scout his opponent's base here. Going with outposts, though. Oh, he's going to see there's nothing here. Oh my god, he's blocking him. I mean, this is the kind of shenanigans you see in Arena. And this is why, like I said, I know some people consider Arena boring. Some people consider all these kinds of games boring unless it's some wackadoo custom map. What? Lumber camp? That must have been a misclick. But this is the kind of nonsense you do see. University. Look at our Sicilian. He's still ahead, but his villager lead is falling. It's only 8 villagers. University. Monastery, we know what that means. There's not a single military structure out on this map here for the Sicilian. Once he has these 2 requisite structures, all he needs is a little bit more gold. It looks like he's selling resources for gold, and he's probably going to click up to Imperial. Should be clicking up. There we go. He is clicking up to Imperial, out of which town center? The one to the back. That being said, our Roman can buy 100 food right now and also click up to Imperial, assuming we know he's got a monastery. There's that university that we saw going up a short while ago, so he does have the requisite structures as well. But look at this little let's call it an adorable little mini blockade of a house to the left, a house in the center. Now I don't even know if this is open. This might be one of these weird arena style things that are inexplicable. Oh my god, he's attacking the house through the corner of the wall. If you didn't know you could do that, yes, you can. Our Roman for a second looked like he was researching pike, but now dropped it and going men-at-arms. So the potential for some fun out of these, okay, stables, is perfectly going to my point. The potential of this matchup is in its similarities. You have on one side the Sergeant, whose base armor is just absolutely ridiculous. It's one of my favorite units in the game. Might be my favorite infantry unit on the whole, actually. No, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple of pretty damn cool infantry units in this game. By the way, 4 relics. Why has Red not taken this last relic? Why is his monk all the way in the forward position? But anyway, to interrupt my interruption, these are 2 civilizations with some pretty damn powerful infantry units. Again, one with crazy base armor, one with not only crazy additional armor, although it does peak in Castle Age. They do not get the final armor upgrade for their infantry, but one that also comes with an attack bonus against other infantry, which may not be that relevant against the Sicilians because, again, they take less bonus damage. I believe 33% less bonus damage, but also potentially a charge attack. We're going Cavalier. And then, if you don't want to go infantry, on the one hand, you've got Cavaliers with extra armor with Hauberk, and on the other hand, you've got Centurions with a charge attack that train 50% faster with Comitatenses. I mean, it's just an absolute ridiculous match of similarity, and he's blocking him with the house, but it doesn't matter. Mihai's already broken through his own gate. The monk does die. As now we finally begin seeing, this is now, technically I would say we're still in stage 2, if you want to get all technical about it, because the last relic has not been gathered. But I believe we are very, very much firmly in stage 3 right now, because they've reached castle. The relics are basically accounted for, even though Running has not collected the last one. Not too sure, again, why he hasn't collected the last one. And there is the Legionary upgrade. But we're getting Squires, we're getting Iron Casting, we're getting Conscription. Look at the armor on these guys. I believe this is still not Hauberk level. Hauberk should add a +1/+2 to melee and pierce, I believe. Light cavalry engage into halberdiers is probably the dumbest thing they could do at the moment, but they're on a journey of discovery, so they're not exactly around for a long time. Elite Sergeant Legionary. This is what I wanted to see. A battle of slow moving bipedal units that are absolutely fantastic at both taking a punch to the face and giving a punch to the face. And let's see what happens here. Though I'm talking a big game. For now, our Roman is basically gathering a whole bunch of halberdiers. Why? Because he's seen with his outposts that he is facing cavaliers. Although remember the 5th of November, cavalry +32 does get divided by 2/3, or rather multiplied by 2/3. And so that +32 will become what? +20? +19? Versus these guys. So not only do the Cavaliers come with extra armor potentially, because I don't really see Hauberk here, unless I missed it. I don't think he's got Hauberk. No, he's got just a +3/+4. So they come with extra armor and they take less bonus damage. So that will be a very interesting thing to see. And here come the Legionaries, but Comitatenses not quite done yet. 25 seconds away. This is a huge investment in stables for our Sicilian, who has given up a lot of map control to the Italian. I mean, I don't know who's going to take this little mineral-rich part in the center of the map, but our Italian does have control of this. And he's also, oh, he's walling off his own gold. He does not want a bunch of Cavaliers showing up and raiding that. That being said, his eyes have kind of been gouged out. First Crusade is on the way. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 town centers in 20 seconds. We are going to have 25 additional elite sergeants. Let's watch them pop out of the main OG town center. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There they are. And all of a sudden, 27 sergeants. The bombardment of the Sicilian castle begins. This Treb needs to get the hell out of here. It is in the attack radius. Takes a little bit of damage. But in come the Sicilians. Red light, green light game over here. I also love that it's north-south, kind of, because it makes the battles... I feel like a north-south battle is a bit more fun to watch than an east-west battle. Does that make any sense? Legionaries engaging into the Cavaliers, not good at all. But here come the halberdiers. Oh, they're gonna die against these. I mean, look at the sergeants. They're taking no damage at all. Okay, here we go. The battle is joined. The cavaliers to the left flank are doing an okay job. The sergeants have just absolutely eviscerated this Roman army. I mean, what do you do against a unit with 7 melee, 8 pierce armor? I guess you just keep training legionaries with a +5 charge attack and then a +4 attack bonus against infantry. Although not against Sicilian infantry. That I guess it becomes 2.75 or whatever the hell 4 divided by a third or a third of 4 is. By the way, the Roman is not fully upgraded. He's still missing Blast Furnace. I'm not sure what's going on with running right now. He's missing that last relic. He's missing Blast Furnace. These legionaries are not as effective as they are, and the Sicilian is absolutely overwhelming this central Roman position. But how many reinforcements? We've seen the Romans do this before. They can spam that legionary like the Goths. And that is exactly what he is doing. He is getting ballistics right now, is our Roman. Why? Okay, there are some Centurions here. They are not elite, though. And when they're not elite, that means these legionaries only move 10% faster. Remember, they changed the Centurion. Now, whether or not it's elite or not doesn't matter. The attack speed is always 20% more. But the movement speed is now only 10% versus the 15% it can be. And there's Blast Furnace. Man, does that technology take a long time to research. A few cavaliers derping out in the back here. How the hell is our Roman held this? Man! Somebody has got to check out the way the Romans spam their infantry. I'm telling you, it's almost Goth level quick. Which doesn't make any sense because they don't have any kind of barracks related speed bonuses like the Goths. But somehow I just feel like these units are, or maybe just the games that I've watched, the Roman has like 1 billion barracks. Let's compare the stats. Do we have any sergeants left? Yes, we do. They are coming in here. Sergeant has 10 more HP, attacks with 1 more, has 2 more armor. Attack speed should be 2 on both of these guys. Okay, Blast Furnace is done, so now the dynamic change. Look at that Roman attack, 21 initially. That is Manaspa level attack. That is Lachi level attack, but of course does not ignore armor, and the +5 disappears after the first attack. So, exciting, but... Uh-oh. One treb will fall very quickly. A second treb will fall very quickly. We'll see what the third one... This is a good get here for our Sicilian. 3 trebs bite the dust, and now he absconds. Meanwhile, he is shelling away and destroying the castle of the Romans. The Roman yet again engaging here in the center. Looks like there's a bit of a green run by to the front of Red's base. But holy moly, yet again, the sergeants prove themselves to be the superior infantry unit. They are just mowing down everything. Once the charge attack disappears, the legionary attacks on a 16, the elite sergeant on a 15. But the extra armor, the 10 extra HP is really what is giving it that extra oomph, that extra survivability. And Mihai is throwing in a whole bunch of meat shield as well with these light cavalry units. What is happening here to the back? Oh, these are still 3 cavaliers. Do they have hauberk yet? No hauberk at all. Red did not get murder holes. I believe green, and it looks like he did. I'm going to zoom out a little bit out on the map. We've got light cav to the bottom trying to snipe villagers. The center, the infantry units are still fighting each other here. And it looks like those 3 cavaliers have been cleared up. And look at this. This is the prescience of our Roman here, building this big wall that these light cavalry cannot penetrate. And by the way, it looks like he did finally get that relic. 5 relics to 0. We'll take a look at the end of the game, how much extra gold that gave our Roman. Army counts, very, very similar. Civilian population, very, very similar, but it is our Sicilian who's ahead in both regards. And all of a sudden, at the 41-minute mark of the game, we have another. Oh my god! He's using trebs! He's trying to take out the Centurion. And all of a sudden, it is our Roman who is swarming over everything. Now, a lot of this army wasn't light cavalry units who are not going to survive very, very long against the legionaries. Our Roman is also swarming the gold and the stone over here. Our Roman all of a sudden is just everywhere. but he's engaging underneath a castle, and like I said, their armor caps out in Castle Age, so they're at a 6 pierce armor, which is not terrible. A very quick wall off here to try to keep out these legionaries, but one has snuck in. A very aggressive light cavalry tries to stop him from moving forward. We'll see who wins that battle. I think we kind of know who wins that battle. And now the legionary is going to go after what? The villager? Yes, he is going right after the villager. Let's see what's going on around the map. It looks like a Roman Treb is attacking this castle. It is one of two. The second is making its way slowly over. The Sicilian mining operation here has been stopped. It looks like the stone is gone, though. Our Sicilian, he's going for crossbows. Now, I'm not too sure about crossbows against legionaries with 6 pierce armor. That is very problematic. I wonder why he's not continuing with sergeants. And now those crossbows are going to be arbalests. Okay. An interesting turn of events here as our Sicilian switches to ranged units. I guess he wants a meat shield of light cavalry, followed by... Oh, and look at this! He's pulling the Roman army to the left as his scouts. What a brilliant move out of Mihai! He separates them. They run circles around these legionaries. One branch of the light cav closes. The second destroys the treb, and the third treb will fall. That was an absolute masterclass of military micro out of our Sicilian. That might have been one of the best things I've seen. I was going to say all year, but this year has basically been 2-3 days. That was absolutely brilliant out of Mihai, pulling the Roman legionaries to the left as he then splits up his light cavalry unit, dodging the legionaries that are left to protect the trebs, and then closes on the trebs, destroys 1,200 resources down the shitter for our Roman, but he's back with another treb here to the right. The meat shield is not lasting very long. Our legionaries are chasing. This is a very good choke point here. You want to hold the door over here. You want to hold over this bad boy. Legionaries chasing villagers to the left. The castle is attacking them. He's got arbalests and villagers inside, so a few good arrows will be added to the, what do we want to call it, a stockpile, the armory. But the central castle does fall, and our Sicilian has been pushed back to the very limits of his walls here. And our Roman just has small clumps of these legionaries everywhere, even inside the base, and now they're going after the trebs, or no, they're going after the arbalests. Is this light cavalry meat shield really going to hold here? No, it can't possibly. There's 58 legionaries on the way. He's got more legionaries. He's training a single centurion. Where are you? You're all the way over here. And look at this little protective nook that our Sicilian has created for his arbalests. And I guess his treb as well, although this is a little open here. He blocks the way with bodies. What is inside the castle? I feel like it's firing extra arrows. 20 villagers are in the castle. I believe that's enough to one-shot a legionary. Yep, it is. But if this castle falls, our Sicilian is in serious trouble, as all of a sudden his ooey gooey base is open. His villagers are still in the castle. There's a few at the bottom here trying to repair this castle. It hits the 20% mark, evicts the villagers that are inside of it. And I mean, look at this. Look at this. What the hell do you do against this? Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I know they don't come with a barrack speed bonus, but it sure does seem like they do. What is this? Endless amounts of fully upgraded Roman centurions. He's going up to 59 of them, and the castle falls, and that exposes the entire... I mean, this is not walled off at all. I mean, a house and a mining camp are not going to last very long against a fully upgraded legionary. This is a bit more of a secure little area, but a castle is just a castle. He's got 15 army count. He's down 20 or so villagers, less than his, or more than his opponent. 20. He's down 20 more. That doesn't make any sense, right? He has 20 less. 20 fewer villagers, 161 light cav, 410 legionaries. And we can say legionaries because he started training them in Imperial when they were legionary. Holy shit. Even though running got that last relic super late, even though he got blast furnace pretty damn late, the numbers here for him are just absolutely crazy. Our Sicilian did gobble up a few small patches of resources on the map, but ultimately, look at it now. Our Roman is in firm control, and he's about to take this gold and stone as well. Holy moly, the dead bodies are still here on the floor. Oh my god, do you see a single red dead body here? Yeah. 1, 2, 3 red dead bodies, and the rest... I'm going to hope for Mihai's sake that these were light cavalry units and not sergeants. Why did he stop training sergeants? I felt like they were doing a pretty good job against the legionaries. The economy is about 10% difference, not that big at all. When you take out the relic gold, 3,600 gold is very, very good. Like I said, the Romans can be a gold-intensive civilization if you go Centurion, but if you're just going legionary and just a glorified infantry unit, is a 60 food, 20 gold. That's all it costs. So divide this by 20, and you'll see how many infantry units or legionaries you can afford. Wow. More wood, more food, more gold, but less stone. Just about half a castle's worth of stone. But on the whole, wow. What an absolute hilariously amazing game. And I say hilariously because I'm glad I can finally call something when I said that there's the beauty of this matchup is in the similarities of two different, very powerful infantry units. Again, different in their own right. One with an attack that is absolutely designed. I mean, 21 first strike is insane for an infantry unit. That's Aztec level. And there's, I mean, the Aztecs is permanent, but with Garland Wars, it sticks around. But still, a 21? That's bonkers. And then 6 melee, 6 pierce armor. On the other hand, the Sergeant, with its 7-8 armor and 85 HP to 75, can just take a punch. Or we could have absolutely seen Cavaliers taking on committed 10Cs Centurions. I don't think the players would have the gold to last very long if they went that route, but holy moly, 464 kills for our Sicilian, 402 for our Roman. Villager kills. Our Roman killed a lot more, and a lot of it here towards the end when he penetrated the base with those legionaries here to the back. He's fighting as well. He did manage to catch a few villagers as they were escaping to the western part of the map, and our Roman just absolutely overwhelms. I'm glad we got to see the infantry versus infantry battle, and like in real life, like in 1861, Sicily is toppled and has to join the Kingdom of Italy, which is centered, I believe, in Rome. And I don't know if in 1861 Rome was the capital. I think maybe they established the capital a little later, maybe 10 years later, I want to say 1871. My knowledge of that region is comes from a few books that I read about 22 years ago, so you'll pardon me if I don't get the exact dates or things right. But ultimately, what an absolute epic game we got to see out of these two players, and the infantry versus infantry battle. I mean, the Romans, they always look like Lord of the Rings hobbit dwarves to me, with their big shield that covers their entire body. But no, they're not. They're full-grown human soldiers. And with those full-grown human soldiers, which is not something you probably expected to hear on an Age of Empires cast, but using those full-grown bipedal infantry units, it is Running who overwhelms. Again, let me know what you think. Is it just the games that we've seen? 8 barracks? This seems like the production out of a lot more than 8 barracks. There's 15, 16 infantry units, 17 just here. I don't know why, but for some reason to me, this always seems like it's kind of Gothic level infantry spam. But again, probably just anecdotal, probably just the games that we've watched, since a lot of Roman games do happen, at least on this channel, have been watched on Arena. And it is with those incredibly powerful infantry units that Running just overwhelms every army that Mihai threw at him, with a few exceptions in the beginning. When his legionaries were not fully upgraded, those sergeants just had their way with them. And ultimately, though, those sergeants did run out. The meat shield run out. The arbalests ran out of bolts, arrows, and Sicily fell. It is Running, our Roman in red, who is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.